Hey, what's going on, maniacs? You know who it is. Madman here. That's right, we're here on some Madman time, and the Madman tonight is going to address stereotypes and misconceptions about greasers. Alright, so there's always different misconceptions, and there's a lot of stereotypes that come along with the whole, greaser rockabilly culture. And what I'd like to do is to break some of these down, and I'm going to use the ones that I've been asked the most. So, for people that send me messages or, leave stuff in the comments, I'm going to cover as many of those as I can remember. And, of course, ones that, I grew up with as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so one of the stereotypes that I get asked about all the time, and I could understand why. Do you have to smoke or drink to be a greaser? And the answer to that is absolutely not. That is a complete misconception. Drinking and smoking are personal choices. And pretty much the main reason why you see a lot of greasers smoke in various, movies from back in the day or other movies that have depicted greasers is because in the 1950s smoking was very popular. It was actually a thing that people did for the most part. Now there were some that didn't smoke, but a lot of people did. So of course greasers smoked as well. And of course greasers loved to party. They liked to drink. A lot of them were rowdy and rebellious and crazy. Now I'm talking about the original era guys from the 50s, not the modern day guys like myself and many others that continue the traditions on. But, the greaser community's always been kind of rowdy and rebellious, and they like to party. I come from Long Beach, California, originally, so the party scene was actually pretty big out there. A lot of people smoked, a lot of people drank. It's kind of a thing. It's something I grew up around. I saw a lot of it. I did quite a bit of it, in my time, just doing my thing with my friends, but it is totally a misconception that you absolutely have to drink or smoke to be a greaser. Not true. And for those that don't smoke or don't drink, I don't recommend you do. It's not exactly the healthiest thing for you to do, but at the end of the day, I'm not your dad, I'm not your whatever. Do what you're going to do. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know. All right? Now, this one is one that I grew up with. All greasers know and like each other. No. That, again, is not true. Just because you have greasers throughout a big city does not mean that they all know each other or they actually like each other. When I was in high school in the early to mid 2000s, there was a lot of drama. There was a lot of beef. There was a lot of greasers did not get along, and there was always somebody going off in this direction or that direction, or didn't like so-and-so, or so-and-so didn't like so-and-so, or it was always some kind of like little drama, little beef. Of course, there were certain gangs that were, they would go after even non-gang member greasers that just wanted to pick at them or have a go or whatever. So that also is not true. Not every greaser knows other greasers, nor do they always get along or like other greasers. Greasers typically think that they live in the 1950s. Hey, 1955 called, they said they want their hairstyle back. Yeah, we've heard it all, and none of it's cute. As a matter of fact, it gets very boring, and it's funny how throughout the years, it's always the same old shit. It never changes, you know what I mean? It's always the same lame-ass, stale-ass jokes, time and time again, and pretty much anyone who's a greaser has heard this, and trust me, nobody thinks you're funny, nobody thinks you're cute, or any of that shit. That's about all the jokes are worth. But anyway, moving forward into that, we're very aware that it's not the 1950s anymore. That's why, it's a modern scene. It's a modern greaser rockabilly scene. We know that it's not 1955 anymore. We know that. We're very aware. We can see it every time we look around. Usually to the people that say, it's not 1950 anymore, you should, dress more like us. Yeah, you're one of the reasons that we don't want to dress like you. We don't want to be like you. Yeah, so every time you say that and we see you, we're pretty aware it's not the 1950s anymore. The modern greaser rockabilly scene has changed over the years. There's new things, new elements that have crept into the look and the style. There's new music and new bands, and magazines and all kinds of stuff that's always coming out. Okay, things change. We know this. Just you guys don't know enough about what we do or why we do to know that these things have changed. But, if you don't know, we didn't want you to know it's not for you. Right, greasers? You guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, another one. You're a greaser. That must mean you like Elvis. Not every greaser really digs Elvis. I mean, I like Elvis okay. Don't get me wrong, I like some of his early rockabilly stuff from like 1954, 1955. And even a few of his rock and roll songs. But I'm not stuck on Elvis. He's not like my idol. A lot of people are like, oh, do you like worship Elvis? Or like, are you like a huge Elvis fan? Most greasers are not really big fans of any one specific artist. You know what I mean? And again, like I mentioned before, the scene has grown. There's all kinds of other bands and singers and groups that have come out since Elvis's day. There's hundreds and thousands of rockabilly and rock and roll and doo-wop artists and stuff like that. I mean, we don't just like Elvis. Elvis is Elvis, essentially, okay? Some like him, some don't, some think he's okay, some really don't dig his stuff and like somebody else like Buddy Holly or, they like Chuck Berry, some like Little Richard, some are more into doo-wop, some are into like more of your, your rockabilly scene with Eugene Vincent and, Johnny Cochran, not Johnny Cochran, Eddie Cochran, what the fuck, I'm thinking O.J. Simpson trial here. Guys, again, remember, I grew up in the 90s, so that was actually a thing, and I actually saw that live, but that's beside the point. I forgot I just said Johnny Cochran. Eddie Cochran! God damn it. Yeah, I figure I could edit that out, but what's the fun in that, right? Alright, let's keep moving forward. Another thing that's associated with the greaser rockabilly culture, you have to be a tough guy to be a greaser. Absolutely not, okay? There's probably more non-tough guys that are a part of the greaser rockabilly community than are like hardcore tough guys. You don't have to be a tough guy to be a greaser. Okay, ultimately, it's not what you have to do. Either certain people that are in it are tough and are legitimate tough guys, and there's some that are just like regular, dudes that just want to have fun and do their thing, go to shows. And what I mean by that, being a tough guy is, going around, walking around, hey, I'm a motherfucking badass son of a bitch, and I'll fuck anybody up. And it ain't about that. I would say that greasers are probably tough in their mentality of do-it-yourself, Yankee ingenuity, make things work, hardworking, dedicated. Some of them are pretty disciplined. They get shit done. I would say they're tough in that aspect for the most part, but they're not like tough guys. I don't have to walk around proving a point. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some that do. There's some that think that they're tough guys, and then usually they go and they bully other people around until they find another tough guy who's at their level or even tougher, and then they find out that it ain't the best way to go about doing things. So no, you don't have to be a tough guy to be a greaser. Okay, another misconception that you have to be in a gang to be a greaser. Absolutely not true. Okay? Yes, there are greaser gangs. They do exist. A lot of them are very tough. Okay? If you guys haven't seen my videos on greaser gangs, I'll have it posted in the description below. Go click the link. Maybe you'll get something good out of it. But ultimately, no. You don't have to be in a gang to be a greaser. Okay? That's movies, that's Hollywood, that's original era stuff, and how it was depicted in that time that we've gotten used to. It's become a bad stereotype. Like, all greasers are hoods and they're in gangs and they, knife people and get in rumbles. That's absolutely not true. Again, most guys that are into this stuff, and the gals, of course, they're into it for the right things. They love the music, they love the cars, they love the culture and the history. They like the hairstyles, they like the dress, the whole thing. Alright? It is a subculture. And there's many, many things that make up this subculture. Another one, greasers break into song and dance because of Grease, because they like Grease. Not true. Matter of fact, a lot of greasers don't even really like Grease. I mean, I personally like a few things about it, but the actual whole movie in and of itself, I don't really dig it, and anybody who's followed this channel knows that. I'm not a big fan of the movie Grease. I like a few aspects of Grease, a few different little things, but no, trust me, I don't know any greasers that break into song and dance and go, or any of that lame shit, okay? We don't go around watching West Side Story, I'm the Sharks, I'm the Sharks, I'm the Sharks. Okay, that's stupid. That's lame shit. Okay, and West Side Story wasn't even all that great in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Love it, hate it, whatever, indifferent to it, doesn't really matter. Like what you like. But, at the end of the day, greasers don't go around doing this whole fucking singing and dancing and getting into all this fucking shit. It's not what it's about, alright? Yes, greasers do like to go dancing. Go to a show, you with your girl, you go out and do some dancing, have a good time, but it's not, doing this shit like you see from Grease, Summer lovin' had me a blast. Summer lovin' happened so fast. And all this no. You can scrap that shit right now. I know what you guys like the singing and the dancing? Oh shit, greasers sing and dance. No, not really. Alright, moving forward before I do anything else stupid. Don't blame me, blame Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm not drunk, Ossifer. I'm professional. What do you guys think? PBR spokesman or what? Hey, PBR, if you're watching this, give me a call, send me a message or something. I'm your guy. But anyway, that's just a handful of some of the negative stereotypes and misconceptions about being a greaser and the modern rockabilly greaser culture. I wanted to cover those with you, wanted to put them out there. I'm sure a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you have come across these things, maybe some of you haven't, who are just started. We're all at different levels of, some starting out, some are just interested in learning more about it, some have been doing it for years like myself. Ultimately, the whole thing is to be, being in the greaser culture is to have fun. Enjoy it. That's what this subculture is all about, man. It's all about doing it differently, not following the mainstream, not being told, oh, you have to like this, artist, you have to get these fucking $200 shoes, or, you've got to have this hairstyle, or because this fucking rapper wears this jacket, you got to wear it to be cool. A lot of us came up, especially myself, where if you didn't have a certain kind of shoes, you didn't have a certain kind of jeans, a certain kind of style, you were considered like an outsider, you're lame, you're poor, you don't have no money, you're a nerd or whatever. And the subcultures, including like punk rockers and metalheads and various other, subcultures, it was all about rebelling and doing it what you wanted to do, based on what you liked and what resonated with you. You dig? Alright, so I'm going to stop ranting and raving. If you don't know, get a clue, get a brew, get a rock and roll tattoo. Hang loose and be safe. The madman will catch you on the next one. Dig it!